Live from Beit Shemesh and broadcasted around the world, you are listening to the From Entrepreneur Podcast with your host, Nahum Kligman. Interviews and advice from Jewish entrepreneurs from around the world. Listen, learn, be Matzliach.
Welcome to episode 12 of the From Entrepreneur. I am extremely privileged to have a very dear friend with me here today. His name is Judah Mischel. He is the executive director of Camp HASC. You're really not supposed to say good things about people in front of them, right? There's an Indian against that. So I'm going to be very, very small on my words to say that, you know, he is one of the greatest people to ever walk the face of this earth, and that's holding back. Those that know him know that he is the sweetest of the sweet. He is an unbelievable person, a gem of a friend, a gem of a guy. And it's see, he's laughing, but it's a big zchus, Judah, to have you here with us today. So welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me. It's good to be here.
It's a pleasure.
Despite that.
Well, I told you I'm holding back. You know, I'm not even going to go into the details, but those that know you know it's MS. So, first of all, a little shout out to Donnie Waxman. He's blushing now. You can't see it, but he's blushing. Anyway, a little shout out to Donnie Waxman for suggesting this and putting this together. As soon as he did, I realized it's a no-brainer. Camp HASC is something, you know, that we've always known about, we've heard about. It's been around for, how long has the camp been around for?
Over 40 years.
Over 40. I'm 42. So like since I was, born, we've heard and known the Camp HASC. It's a brand. It's a camp that we've grown up with, we've heard stories with. And I think there is so much more. I mean, when you hear about Camp HASC, the regular Joe on the street, you hear, okay, it's a camp for special needs kids, and they do amazing things. They have an incredible concert. They have a marathon. You know, there's, one of the largest organizations when it comes to dealing with from special needs kids. Although I assume it's all Jewish kids. Is it just
legally we're open and we're to accept everyone who we're able to help.
Right.
Those who are choosing to come to a Shomer Shabbos kosher environment with Hasidic shechita and Chol Yisrael milk and 5 minyanim a day and
right.
Kolo, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. You know, it's a unique service for the Orthodox Torah community.
Excellent. So
we have from across the entire spectrum of Klal Yisrael.
Beautiful, yeah, beautiful. Sure. We're going to get into more detail about that. I just, the purpose of this podcast, I really want to get, I am excited myself to hear the inside story, to hear what goes on behind the scenes to pull off a summer event. And, just like, we've mentioned before in other podcasts, running a nonprofit organization or a for-profit organization is really a lot of the same lessons we can learn as entrepreneurs, a lot of great business lessons. And, there's budgeting and marketing and staff and fundraising and everything that goes into running an organization. So let's start off. First of all, I just one other note. I don't know if my listeners know, but I have a special needs son, and so Camp HASC is very dear to my heart. Anything dealing with special needs kids is dear to my heart. So it's an extra privilege for me to be able to do this podcast with you. But first, what is HASC?
So Camp HASC stands for the Hebrew Academy for Special Children. About 40 years ago, Rabbi and Mrs. Khan, Aleim Shalom, Zechronim Levracha, really saw a need in the Jewish community, in the Orthodox community, and began a program for individuals with special needs. First it was a year-round program as a school, developed that into vocational, and then a summer program. Now, 40 years later, HASC really has three main branches that are all, coming from the same place originally, but now run as individual non-for-profit organizations with similar and parallel goals, complementary goals, but really work sometimes in partnership, sometimes independently, but all parallel. There's HASC Inc., which are a network of schools in Brooklyn, Rockland County, Long Island, for individuals with special needs that they're all Board of Education schools. There's something called HASC Center, which are dozens of group homes and respite facilities, primarily around Brooklyn. And then we have Camp HASC during the summer, which is a 7-week summer program for individuals with special needs. There are a lot of the same children are in, each program, but each one runs independently with its own board of directors and its own budget and its own goals.
Very interesting. So, I assume that was not something that was originally planned, but
that's the way it developed, with it's over years with the needs of the community developing and different people with different strengths and abilities and dreams.
Right.
And thank God, where we've gotten to at this point is that the camp has, just recently, in the last couple of years, has its own board of directors and our own budget. And we work in partnership with the schools in order to provide an educational program for children during the summer.
Beautiful, beautiful. Now, I definitely want to dig into the summer. I want to dig into camp and, the kids and stuff. But first, people that don't know you, why don't you give us a little bit about your background, where you grew up, where you went to school, and then, you moved there to Israel, how you ended up being working for Camp HASC even before you were executive director, and then, what led to becoming executive director.
Now, is this like a Snapchat, tweet, blog, long form answer? Or is this
long form? We go as long as you want. People, seriously, this is one.
I don't know if there's 140 characters or less. How we're going to fit it in?
No, we could go as long. If we could go for 2 hours.
5,775 years ago, Hashem created the world,
right,
to find a resting place here, Dira B'Tachtonim. My wife and I and our 5 kids live here in Ramat Beit Shemesh. We made Aliyah about 13 years ago.
Oh, same year as me, 2002.
Yeah, first Nefesh B'Nefesh flight.
What? I was on the first Nefesh flight.
Look at that.
Wait, I didn't know that you were there.
We were making. I mean, we were in the back making. Our daughter was screaming.
That was
flight.
you.
Yeah, that was us.
Nobody slept. That was your
entire flight. Like I tried to hide in the bathroom most of the flight.
That's funny. Rabbi Smiles was on that flight with us.
Exactly.
That's so fun. I didn't know you were on that flight.
Yeah. Well, it was such a major historical moment. Everyone was in such oros.
It was really
hard
we
to focus on any prat because we're so connected to the massive change in history of like the world.
Right.
The Kanfin Shorim and the mass exodus from exile. So
that's cool.
Okay, so
before you got to Eretz Yisrael, where were you born? Where did you grow up?
In Monsey.
Okay.
And high school in Jersey, actually at the Frisch school.
Oh, you went to Frisch?
Yeah.
Oh.
Had the zchus to learn and continue learning at Shalvim.
Right.
First, right after high school, and then after I finished YU, I have my smicha here in Eretz Yisrael. Went to graduate school for Jewish education and administration, and at the same time, I went to Baruch for a degree in public administration.
Oh, that's nice. My brother went to Baruch for a little bit.
I mean, the goal was to help. I wanted to be Marbitz Torah and the Jewish people, but I wasn't a Talmud Chacham and didn't really see myself as someone who wasn't confident enough to say that I would be able to make my life and tafkid and mark in the world that way, and wasn't sure exactly how and what and where. I just wanted to be helpful to the Jewish people, and went into that degree to study just to see how to affect the community and how to be a part of things in Klal Yisrael.
But I mean, I think that is a very beautiful aspect of yourself. And, most people, they're coming out of college, their goals are, how do I make money? How do I make a parnasa? Your focus was more, how do I affect Klal Yisrael? And I got to make a parnasa, but really your goals were about how can I affect Klal Yisrael in the best way?
And I had the privilege to teach. I was teaching for a couple of years. I went back and taught at Frisch, actually. It was my first job.
You taught in Frisch? Wow.
That was youth director in a couple of shuls before we made Aliyah. And then when we made Aliyah, I went to work in, my wife's family has a very, very special yeshiva in Reshet Yerushalayim, and had the zchus to be there for just about a decade, learning and teaching and being a part of the programming. So I really got to not just be involved with the guys, but to also see a business from the inside out and be involved in organizing the programming and the Tulim, which was a really unbelievable opportunity.
So you were at Reshet for about 10 years, but I guess that left you with the summers open for other stuff.
Yeah.
Right. When did you actually get involved with HASC?
I'd always heard about Camp HASC.
Right, like
I always wanted to marry somebody who worked at HASC, but I didn't. I never worked there. I was a guy, and I wasn't like the guys who are working in camp today, these unbelievable tzaddikim, these guys who have just incredible desire to give. I hung out during the summer. I learned. I did trunks and learned the Nesha Torah and,
right.
Masor Kolel, but actually a friend
your wife worked in HASC?
I met her. She worked in HASC for a few years. My wife worked in HASC. Her brothers worked in camp. A couple of her brothers. It was very important to her. Already from our first date, she was talking about how amazing of a place it was, and I just thought, okay, yeah, it's great. It's another great place that people go and do chesed, and it's not for me, but it's really nice. And,
right.
We all have special needs. That was my the way I thought about it, but I don't really know anything about it until actually a friend, Naftali Herman, who now works with the OU with Yachad. Really a wonderful person who I met as a youth director in Monsey, and then again we crossed paths in Reshet. He was a madrich. There was a turnover. There was a change in the organization at Camp HASC. There was a management change and a little bit of a tumult. And
this is what, 7-8 years ago?
This is about 10 years ago now, 11 years ago.
Okay.
And they were restructuring and reorganizing and looking for some new staff. And there was a position open to be the camp rabbi. And that was what I was recommended for, and I ended up meeting the management there. And my wife's dream came true, and was able to go back to Camp HASC. Yeah, we were able to go back to Camp HASC as the rabbi, and I was learning with campers and giving shiurim at night and organizing the Beis Medrash.
And stuff?
Yeah, there's a Beis Medrash program, and I was giving shiurim there, and checking the Eruv, which is the easiest Eruv in the entire world because it's just a fully fenced in campus.
Right.
And it was a great entryway into a magical world that I didn't really know about, that I had never been exposed to. And like I said, I drank the juice. It was,
drank the juice.
It was really something unbelievable.
I got to tell you just, a similar experience with myself, if I may. Growing up also, I had friends that worked in Camp HASC, and I always took the attitude of, that's very nice, but that's not for me, kol kavod, and you hear these stories about these guys and they had the best summer. I'm like, I don't know, taking care of a bunch of special needs kids for the summer is not really up my alley. And when I was living in Passaic, we actually, in our building, there was a man who had cerebral palsy, and not a Jewish guy, but my wife was always very nice to him and would always talk to him. And whenever I saw him, I would say hi and I would be like nice to him, but I didn't want to do more than just your hello. I always felt a bit uncomfortable. And it wasn't until I had my own special needs son that I realized how beautiful these neshamas are, how beautiful these people are, and how much they have to give to us. People think, I once did a magnet that said people, giving to special needs kids, that special needs kids give more than they receive. And I know in my family, we definitely see that. We've definitely gained a lot more from our son than we've given him. But I guess now you're coming in and you're seeing firsthand, what is special about dealing with these neshamas.
There's something exceptional about being in a place where everyone, campers, staff, everyone, are looking at each other and seeing one another for what we are able to do as opposed to what we're not able to do. And we're not defined or limited by disabilities, where there's a person-first way of seeing one another and seeing the world. It's not autistic people, but it's an individual with autism, not someone who is a Down's kid, but it's an individual with Down syndrome. In other words, putting the person first, the chelak elokah mimal, the godly part of the individual person, that this is a human being with an identity who has likes and dislikes and a personality and kochos and a purpose in the world, an inherent value in the world, a shtik elokus, an element of God in the world, a manifestation of God in the world, a soul that has a body. And some bodies are able to function and work and be more independent than others. And to be in an environment where that's at the core and where the goal here is to level the playing field, so that everyone can be a part of everything to the best of their ability. Right. Where it's not like we're walking around our neighborhood or any neighborhood in the world where we try to create opportunities for accessibility or for integration for individuals with special needs. But here is a little bit of like a wrinkle in time and space that for 7 weeks in a bunch of acres up in Parksville in upstate New York, there is this little biodome of an alternative reality where everyone belongs and everyone is appreciated and valued and loved for who they are and not for what they can't do or can do. And it's not about IQ and it's not about disabilities. It's about abilities and everyone being part of the same body, limbs in the same body. And we all are working for one another. And there's something magical that takes place when when people are moser nefesh for each other. Rav Dessler writes that at the Isha Shunamit, is this okay? Is this not entrepreneurial?
No, this is beautiful. This is perfect.
When the Isha Shunamit opened the door for Eliyahu Hanavi, that opening the door, just opening the door for another Yid, one person opening a door for another, enabled Eliyahu Hanavi later to perform Tchias HaMesim on a child. In other words, the ability to change nature in the world, miracles take place when we do for one another. When we go outside of our comfort zone, a little bit, HaKadosh Baruch Hu responds, on the level of a machat and an ulam, this disproportional divine response in what we're able to affect. And that's how you see children with special needs coming to Camp HASC in the summer and far exceeding their individualized goals that are set by professional therapists and the state of New York and their doctors. They just far exceed the expectations of what they're able to do in terms of physical growth and in terms of reaching goals in life skills and in the classroom and in the therapy room. It's an unbelievable thing, and it's all because of the incredible love and dedication and doing for one another that it's enabled in the environment of Camp HASC.
I think when we were talking about this, which is absolutely beautiful and what an incredible environment to be in, but it's almost, not almost, it is like you are living for 7 weeks in a most unjudgmental place you possibly could, where nobody is judging each other and everybody is out to help the next person. Everybody is out to do for others. And right, that's really, it's like you are living in a different world. You're living in the world of how Hashem wanted the world to be or wants the world to be. The Achdus. I assume that not all Hasidic staff. It's not all, I'm sure you have Dati Lumi. I'm sure you have Haredi.
That's what's amazing. That's what's really unique is that we have the full tapestry of the Jewish people. We have campers, We have campers from Yiddish-speaking Hasidic homes in Williamsburg and Kiryas Yol. We have campers from homes in other neighborhoods in Westchester, New Jersey, where they're not from Shomer Shabbos homes. The counselors primarily are coming, if you make a demographic here, primarily from the world of Yeshiva University and the YU Joint Israel program here in Israel. We're drawing from those yeshivot and seminaries primarily, but there's a professional staff which originates in Brooklyn. Our office is in Borough Park. It was founded by a family that's in Borough Park.
Right.
And there's an amazing cross-section that I don't know that there's anywhere else in the world that can say that. I mean, just the individuals who come visit us throughout the summer to be mechazik staff and for them to draw inspiration, whether it's, one day we could have the Lakewood Mashgiach of Matasyahu Solomon.
I remember reading about when he came.
Comes, and the next day, President Richard Joel will be in camp.
Wow.
We'll have, members of the Jewish Federation coming to visit camp, to see and to be seen. And then you'll have the Baba Rebbetzin coming to visit. I mean, Hasidic Rebbes and tzaddikim of all types and walk of life, and that's something which is calculated. It's something which we're conscious about, and it's something which is very unique. The environment in camp, like you were mentioning before, it's a place where people feel good about themselves. It's staff members come and unleash this incredible positivity, this incredible potential. Part of what our goal is, and I think that it was always happening, but now we're talking about it more consciously and we're trying to cultivate it, is to create an incubator for leadership, for creativity, for growth, for inspiration. Because let's face it, we have over 500 staff every summer.
500. Wow.
There are
How many kids are there?
Over 350 individuals with special needs, the entire range, autism and Down syndrome and all sorts of intellectual disabilities and physical disabilities.
Right.
With a staff of over 500. We're a city.
Wow.
And let's face it, the majority of staff who come are coming for a summer or two, are not going to be spending their life professionally working in the world of intellectual disabilities, developmental disabilities. They're not. They're going to be lawyers and doctors and businessmen and business people and teachers and entrepreneurs. And they're going to be living in the Jewish community. Our goal is to cultivate that, is to harness that incredible Mesiras Nefesh. That, like you said, it's 7 weeks. What's 7 weeks over the course of a lifetime? Our goal is to cultivate that and to awaken the abilities and the recognition that, wow, I could do something extraordinary here. And for them later to be able to apply that to whatever they're getting into in their family, in their community, in their, God willing, their children's schools, and supporting Torah, in growing the Jewish community, and in fixing the world. That's the goal. And you'll see that there's a disproportionate number or percentage or concentration of Camp HASC alumni who are involved every walk of Jewish life. They're the doers.
It's amazing. I was going to, comment on that the people that I know that were counselors or worked at Camp HASC, they're some of the most special people even today. Right? I think, when it comes to shidduchim, back when, when I was in Parsha, I guess, 15, 20 years ago, whatever it was, if someone, and I guess it's very true still to today, if someone puts on their quote unquote resume, hey, I worked in Camp HASC. Oh, you worked in Camp HASC. You already realize that person is a giver. That person is part of something special. And it's actually a big mile to look at in somebody when you're looking for a marriage partner.
Yeah. Well, one of our board members, Judge Danny Butler, was a very inspiring person. He's also the father of a camper. Shout out to Uri Butler. He's the chairman of Smiles. In the summer, he's also the head of the Hatzalah in camp. Mm-hmm. He's also a good friend. Anyways, Judge Butler always points out how everywhere you go, more times than not, when you see somebody who's stepping into a role of responsibility and taking achrayus, chances are that they might have cut their teeth or sewed their oats and learned a few steps as a counselor in HASC. It's a self-selected group. And that's, you mentioned shidduchim. People joke about it, halachically approved shidduch camp, but it's a real thing. There's a self-selected group of people who are there and they get to meet in a very natural kind of environment. It's not for everyone, and it's not for everyone to work in a co-ed environment, and we're very aware of that. But people kind of meet each other in that way and have a lot in common.
So have there been, I know there hundreds of shidduchim were made from people working at Camp HASC.
Hundreds.
Wow.
And it's a real thing because, again, there's a shared experience. And a lot of the questions are answered. You kind of know the type of person. Maybe you've seen them in action, from afar or up close. And you're able to know that this is a person who's committed to going outside of their comfort zone. In terms of developing a mindset for creativity and entrepreneurship and taking risks and being able to go out of one's comfort zone for an idea, for a concept, there's no question that the experience that kids, 18, 19-year-olds have before they're starting college or while they're after their first year in college, before they enter into the professional world, having this experience, going out of a fixed mindset, and going into a growth-oriented mindset, a risk-taking mindset, is something which I'm certain is affecting the way they see themselves in the world and they see their future opportunities.
Amazing. So you have 500 staff members. I mean, that's an insane amount of people, just and 350 kids. And as you said, each kid is an individual. What are some of the challenges that you have when dealing with kids with special needs? Like, do you have kids that are, low who need feeding tubes? Do you have kids that are more bedridden or less active? Like, how?
Let's break this down into two questions.
Go ahead.
First of all, we have an unbelievable team of people. We have assembled a galaxy alliance of just absolutely the best people who are passionate and committed, are in love with what they're doing, and who keep the main thing. That's really a credo here. Shmuel Khan has been in camp for over 40 years. His parents started it. He knows every inch and every nail and every screw and every single millimeter of the campus.
Wow.
He's somebody who is, a humble person who's not interested in any credit and is not interested in any of the limelight. And behind the scenes and with the families, really is just the one who's been committed day and night for decades. Just a couple of years ago, when there was this turnover in camp and the new board of directors came into place and made this move from being the camp rabbi to being in a more programmatic role and then in a more administrative role, and now trying to grow the organization and grow the services. I mean, it's so clear, and it's almost silly to say it, but without having such dedicated and bright and capable professionals in the roles that they are, I mean, I'm almost like an afterthought here at this point. I mean, I stand back and watch Dr. Rezel Yaish, who's our girls' head counselor, and Rabbi Avi Pollack, who I work with. We work together. He lives here in Beit Shemesh. We work together on a weekly basis. We're in touch, every day on the program and on the administrative side as our boys' head counselor. When I'm watching the incredible therapists and teachers in every single facet of the program, seeing the dedication and the abilities, just the incredible drive that the professionals have, it's humbling to me. I mean, I don't have a background in working with individuals with special needs. It's an incredible thing to watch. An incredible thing to be a part of. So having a good team and trusting that team and empowering that team to swim and sink and to excel on their own, that's been something which I've really have learned on the job here. And I'm surrounded by incredible and extraordinary people who are moser nefesh day and night in an absolutely amazing way.
It must be literally day and night.
Literally. And it's all year. I mean, we're already planning summer 2016 before summer 2015 happened.
It's funny. When we interviewed Tully Klein from Camp Ronnu, he said the similar thing, that they start the next summer, preparing for the next summer during the current summer.
Yeah, I mean, we already keeping a Google Doc going, a running Google Doc going for things that we have to do different in November to get ready for the next summer that we might have been better off doing this past November. In other words, like, we're in a constant state of looking to improve what we're doing and to share feedback. And it's an environment of openness. There are diburim shel emes among those of us who are working together in the we call the upper staff.
Right.
In our cabinet. We're very open. There's the level playing field that's between campers and counselors, between staff members and constituents. We also find among upper staff and administration, the ego really has to be checked at the gate when we're working together. And that way, it's kind of like the avodas hamishkan, where there's so many different kalim and so many facets and so many different jobs. And like the Rambam says, if a Levi is doing the job of a Kohen, or the Kohen is doing the job of a Levi, or one who's supposed to be singing is schlepping, or the one who's standing by the door is trying to play a flute. So the Rambam says chayv misa, because we're dead in the water, if we're not respecting each other's jobs and each other's roles and recognizing our own, what our part in the puzzle is. And when I say that there's over 500 staff, that includes individuals who are working in the office as full-time administrators. That includes, people who are accountants, doctors, nurses, therapists, teachers, individuals who are working in maintenance, mowing the lawn, unclogging the toilets, and ordering the Band-Aids. Everybody is on the same level. We're all working together.
Amazing. Yeah.
And now, a word from our sponsor. Do you have a website that runs on WordPress? If you are like me, you want the peace of mind knowing your website is up to date, secure from viruses and hacks, and will always be up and running at peak performance 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I was also tired of paying a developer hundreds of dollars every time I just wanted a few tweaks to my website or to add a new product to my e-commerce site, but I couldn't even justify paying for even a half-time developer. That is why I became part of the founding team of WP Milk. WP Milk monitors and secures the website and backs it up daily in the cloud using Amazon S3. If your site goes down, we know about it instantly and work directly with your hosting company without you getting involved. Need to add a page to your website? Keep your plugins updated? How about creating a custom form? With WP Milk, you have unlimited email support and site tweaks to always keep your site running smooth and feature-rich. For less than $5 a day, you can have your very own professional WordPress team at your fingertips, giving you all these features and much more. At that price, how can you afford not to? You have zero risk with our 30-day no questions asked money-back guarantee. So visit WPMilk.com right now and sign up for updates, and you will get a special discount on launch. And now, back to our show.
And so, something that you touched on before, I just want to emphasize a bit. It's not like, I used to think till we just started this conversation that, you have a special needs kid, you send him to Camp HASC, and Camp HASC maintains the kids' levels. But you mentioned before that it's not about maintaining, but it's actually helping the kids grow and improve for the coming, and work on things for the coming year. It's not just about, hey, we're taking care of these special needs kids because the parents, need a break, so to speak. But we're not just taking them in and taking care of them, and we're not advanced babysitters, but we're working with them in depth to help them grow and help them change and help make their lives better for longer periods of time. Well past the time camp ends.
There's an element of respite, that's for certain. There was that families, and I don't need to tell this to you, but families who are able to know that their child is being taken care of and being loved and being nurtured and not just maintaining, but is growing over a 7-week period, and they're able to spend time together and focus on other children or other things. That in and of itself is a worthwhile goal. And if nothing else, that in and of itself would be something which would be shaveh. That we are a state-approved educational facility. It's a school. We're a school. We have 20 Board of Education teachers that are working with paras and teachers' assistants. We have dozens of therapists, physical therapists, occupational therapists,
feeding therapists.
Figgy
Waxman.
Shout out to the Waxmans.
Yeah.
But Zahava Whitkin-Cohen has been running our therapy department, which is really a world-class facility. Meaning it's a Jewish organization, and we're doing our best to grow and develop, and we need more and we need better equipment. But it's a world-class program in terms of the individuals, the professionals there. We have an incredible team of people. We have a Shai Dubin, who's an occupational therapist who just lives and breathes Camp HASC all year round, so that when the campers arrive and they have their individualized educational programs and goals that are set by the professionals in the state, the carryover that takes place between the professional therapists in the therapy department and in the pool and in the bunkhouses and in the dining room and throughout campus and in shul is as absolutely amazing. And campers take their first steps. Every year there's somebody who, K'nai Nahara, B'lei Nahara, Hashem should be Mazakos, they're taking their first steps or saying their first word or eye contact, or some incredible benchmark, some incredible milestone that far is exceeding anybody's expectation.
So you would say you have sometimes you think special needs kids, you think kids that are, maybe they have Downs or some cerebral palsy, but they're mostly, they're running around. They seem to be okay. Or
everyone's different. There are individuals who are, in wheelchairs and are not able to move, and there are individuals who are, more independent. Camp HASC is unique in that the goal is not integration. The goal is just to create an environment where it is for them, and we are trying to adjust ourselves to the needs of the campers. I'll just give you an example. We have the pool. The pool is a therapeutic pool. It's heated to a higher degree so that for increased mobility and for therapy therapists get into the pool and teach the counselors and the lifeguards what to do in the pool so that they're able to massage the joints and kind of facilitate movement that otherwise wouldn't be possible. The pool is on an inclined plane, right, like the beach or the Mizbeach. There's no steps, or the steps are on the side, so that even campers who are not mobile are able to be put into these specially adaptive wheelchair flotation devices and brought into the pool to enjoy it also. Everyone can swim.
Like a waterproof type of chair.
Yeah, exactly. Everyone can swim. And there's the ratio is more than 1-to-1 so that they're able to be in the water and enjoy it. And again, the mobility, and that's where the growth and that's where the change takes place. Basketball. How could somebody who is not able to see, or somebody who is not able to move their arms, or someone who's in a wheelchair, able to play basketball? Or someone with intellectual disability the whole idea of we have on our basketball court, each hoop is at a different height. No, we have regulation courts inside in the gym so that the
staff
counselors
can,
can ball at night.
right.
That's for sure. And we also have campers who are very athletic and love playing full basketball. We have intramurals every year. The campers from Aguda come and other camps. Yachad comes and we play ball.
That's great.
But our hoops are all different levels so that even if it means a counselor or a staff member bringing a camper to the hoop in their wheelchair, having them feel the ball and understand and feel the sensation, or bounce it so that the vibration or the sound, or smell it or touch it, and then be able to put it through the hoop, the hurrah that takes place after is a celebration. You'd think that it was LeBron hitting a buzzer beater. It's an amazing thing. The counselors, the staff members become the eyes for those who aren't able to see and the arms for those who aren't able to move. It's an absolutely extraordinary partnership that takes place.
Beautiful. Yeah. And the kids that they come for full 7 weeks?
Yeah, it's an amazing thing.
And where do the kids come from? I mean, I know obviously I said New York, New Jersey, but do you have kids that come from
We have from all over the world. We have children from Eretz Israel who come every summer.
Wow.
We have campers from Europe. Not many, but we have campers from Europe. We have from all over the United States, again, from all different backgrounds. From all different types of families, children of Chabad Shluchim, children of well-known Torah personalities from Lakewood to the Hasidic Welt. Really, this is a Klal Yisrael issue. This is really a universal human issue.
So let's talk a little bit about the costs involved, because running a staff of 500, 350 kids. I know just from being a parent of a special needs kid, there are a lot of added costs in taking care of the special needs. How much does it cost to come to camp if you want to send your kid?
Well, it's like this. Our budget is over $4 million every year.
Wow. Just for the 7-week summer.
Yeah.
$4 million.
We run programs throughout the year for campers and for staff. We've expanded our services throughout the year, but just for our 7-week program to get everything up and running, the facilities, the buildings, the staff, the specialists. We have our medical director is Alyssa Sachs, and Esti Horowitz is working with her this summer. We have incredible doctors and full-time nurses. We have full-time therapists, full-time teachers, dozens. That costs, our payroll for staff is well over $1 million a year.
Wow.
And people are not making, nearly as much as they would make in other camps or in other summer programs that are for profit. There's no one here who's coming for any reason other than the satisfaction of doing something holy and helping and fixing the world. Just maintaining a campus is something which is expensive, let alone a campus which is outfitted for individuals with special needs with adaptive equipment that constantly needs to be updated. We are partially funded by different government bodies.
Okay.
We have a lot of great friends in New York State who are working with us. The governor of New York State knows what we're doing and is supportive of it. State Assemblyman Simcha Felder is somebody who is very familiar with what we're doing. Dov Heikind is somebody who's very familiar and very involved with what we're doing. We have local Congress people and state assemblymen in New York who are all working, but it doesn't cover nearly as much as what it takes to run our program. And we have to raise quite a bit of money during the off season to be able to enable everyone who would like to come to camp, who are able to service, to be able to come. And we give out.
If a kid wants to come but they can't afford it,
campers are not turned away. Families are not turned away because of funds. We work very hard to raise money in order to enable everyone. And our scholarship committee works very hard to enable any family who would like to send their child to be able to send their child to camp. But the actual costs are exorbitant. It's staggering how much the actual cost, what it costs us to provide for a camper is astronomical.
Right.
Their families receive funding from different government bodies, whether a child is able to get for the education costs or for therapy costs. So really, there's different costs for almost any individual who's coming. Someone who's coming from overseas, obviously, is not getting any of those hatavot.
Right, from the local
those
government.
benefits. Yeah.
Right. Wow, what an incredible program, what an incredible camp. Let's talk a little bit, talking about fundraising, talking about some of the things that you guys do in order to raise these funds. Let's talk a bit about, you have special events, you have the HASC concert, you have a marathon. How do those things fit in? What's the, everybody, just like you've heard of the camp, everybody's heard of the concert.
Yeah.
The
concert is certainly our most famous fundraiser, and that which there.
How many years has that been going on for, the HASC concert?
It's been going on for close to 30 years now.
Wow, 30 years.
It's an amazing idea. It was unique in its time, and continues to be like the primary event in the world of Jewish music, with the biggest stars filling Lincoln Center, Avery Fisher Hall. I was there the last couple of years. It is an extraordinary event. Our chairman, Jeremy Strauss, who is a good friend and an incredibly committed and dedicated lay leader, just a real role model for what it means to be a frum entrepreneur, somebody whose day and night is spent working for camp being involved with the families and the concert specifically this past couple of years. The amount of organizations and things he's involved in, it's hard to believe that he actually has a whole business that he runs, numerous healthcare facilities and nursing homes.
Wow. You would think that HASC is like his full-time...
You would think that it's his full-time job. Anyways, he's put tremendous kochos into and resources into kind of reinvigorating the concert. And God willing, in the coming weeks, you're going to hear exciting news about how that brand is going to be something which is going to go global. I'll just give that as a little teaser. Music is something which is very much a part of our day-to-day at camp. And the fact that our main fundraiser is something which is musical is very beautiful.
Who's some of the stars
we count it. We've everybody. I mean,
Chaim David, Oven Free.
Yeah, you name it.
I mean, well, those guys are.
Chaim David has played the concert. Katz has been on that stage.
Shlomo.
Yeah. Listen, we're hoping to make it bigger and better and continue to impress the world, entertain the world, and to bring more light into the world through the concert. But we've really extended our brand to not just be limited to one event during the year on a beautiful night.
How much of the budget does a concert? Is a concert more for branding purposes?
Oh, no, it's a fundraiser. It's a fundraiser. It's a fundraiser. We count on that.
You count on that.
We count on that. Yeah, we count on that. Actually, last year we had a great surprise at the concert.
Oh yeah, tell us about that story. I remember hearing that. There was with Diaspora was on stage.
Diaspora was on stage, and a friend and constituent of some individuals who are involved in Camp HASC, Mr. Abe Eisner and Shmuel Kahn, Rabbi Stern. A dear friend of theirs, Rabbi Strasser, was really inspired by the concert and wanted the Diaspora band to play another song. Their time was up on stage, and he made an offer that day, and we and everyone and the concert producers couldn't refuse. And Mirz Hashem, this summer we're dedicating Binyan Strasser, a new building, a beautiful new state-of-the-art facility for campers on campus here. We hope that the Mashgiach will be well. He comes every summer. We hope that Solomon, who's very close with the Strasser, will be able to come to the dedication, and we're going to have a big celebration. But we count on that concert and the sponsors to really help us open up the camp, let alone to extend, to develop our services and improve our services. We have lots of opportunities during the year for people to be involved. This is maybe the opportunity to mention that in the last couple of years since I've stepped into this role, I've just noticed how many people love being a part of camp and would desperately want to be involved in camp during the year.
Right.
So we've been having more staff reunions and more staff opportunities to get together. We had a great night with Eitan Katz last year, who you might know.
I'm a big fan of Eitan Katz.
He comes every summer. We had a great night with him just for staff to get together. A couple hundred people got together just to remind each other of the greatness that we achieved together and how committed we are to the goals of it. And from that, we developed a young leadership committee, a young leadership board that has in turn spun off some incredible programs. A young leadership bowling night that we had in Chelsea Piers that was a fundraiser. A bake sale before Purim that we had last year was fantastic. We had a 3-on-3 tournament that our special events coordinator this past year, David Prince, put together in Jersey.
I know David Prince, yeah.
Fantastic people. We have just the best and the brightest. We have there's a young man in Yerushalayim named Yonatan Sklar who started, tinkering with computers and printers, being a tech guy at camp years ago, and has grown into really helping us develop our fundraising and streamlining our technology and grow our brand. We have some incredibly talented media people. Avi Staller is an amazing whiz. He was our director of creative development during the summer. Mm-hmm. We have a creative director during the summer. It's a summer camp. Somebody to look at the space in camp and look at the environment and think, what could we be doing differently? What could we be doing better, more effectively? Not just in terms of specifically the product that we're giving here, not the service for individuals with special needs, how to better install a feeding tube. Aesthetically, to create an environment where people are inspired, where people are more effective. We hired a director of staff development, Rabbi Dr. Benji Epstein from Yerushalayim, just an incredible personality, who's a therapist in private practice, to work with our staff alongside our camp psychologist Shalamas Pollack, who's an amazing woman who's been in camp for about 20 years. Benji has brought a little bit of a new ruach and a focus, helping what Shalamas was trying to do all the years for staff and for campers. Is now Benji's primary job is to work with staff to help them with stress reduction, to help them work together effectively, to help them develop a healthier sense of self so that they can do their job more effectively, to provide a better respite for the parents and a better service for the individuals with special needs, and for the teachers and therapists to do their jobs better, but to help create this brand of positivity and this core value system so that it can be replicated and continued throughout the year. It's really a lifetime skill set that we're looking to develop here.
Amazing. And so are you in charge of fundraising during the year? Is that one of your, someone wants to get involved, they want to have an idea, they want to help HASC, you have a marathon? Is that
we were involved in a number of different races. We had our first time ever running our own program this year in Prospect Park last month. We did a great day, the HASC run. We had a few hundred friends and supporters of camp came out to be a part of this race in Brooklyn. Was awesome. It raised quite a bit of money towards scholarships. Beautiful. We participate in the Jerusalem Marathon every year, which is amazing. A beautiful day. Also, well over 100 friends and supporters of camp came out to be a part of that. We've been a part of those races. A lot of organizations go to these different locations in Florida and California and islands and elsewhere. We tried to do something a little different this year. A lot of overhead is spent on that, and a lot of energy is spent on the the buzz of those events. We were looking to do something more local to try to draw and enable individuals and families of campers who aren't able to travel to Acapulco and Puerto Rico and LA to be part of these amazing races. And we had some were just awesome experiences. We wanted to try something different. We're open to new ideas. Those marathons have been great ways to motivate a donor base, to reach a new donor base and to kind of get people involved. But we're looking for development professionals. We're looking for the right person or people to come into our office to be development professionals. We're certainly looking to hire more fundraisers and people to help us. We're looking for the right, we're looking for some real world-class talent to bring in to help us we've gone from good to great. Now we're looking to go from great to even greater. Better. Yeah.
Now that's leading me to my next question is, you have this 7-week summer program, but if it was not because of funds, what would be the next great project that Camp HASC would get involved with? Or what do you think is still missing that you guys could do if you didn't have to worry about the funding?
That's a great question. We're already doing it, even though we don't have the money for it. No, that's the answer.
It's like all good entrepreneurs and all good nonprofits.
We're going for it. We have an amazingly supportive board that believes in it. And we're going for it. We had this hashtag this past year or so on social media called HASC365. We're just trying to build around the natural relationship that develops between the staff and the campers. Families are blown away by the relationships that develop. Now, if there's a way to monetize that relationship, not for the sake of fundraising, but for the sake of being able to put it back into the kitty to create more opportunities to help families and to enable kids with special needs to have the opportunity to be in this type of environment. So we're planning respite Shabbatons, weekend retreats. Campers are already spending, an incredible amount of time with their counselors during the year. We'd like to
you facilitate that, or that's done on their own
initiatives?
So
we work on facilitating. We had volunteers who've been working to do that, and that sometimes it's through our office. We've had great people over the years like Alex Grossman, who spearheaded Camp HASC Cares, matching up families who are in need, whether they're in the hospital or they're having a child or they're in some form of distress. As a reaction to that, we have this program where we provide extra hands and extra support, extra respite.
Amazing.
We'd love to expand that. We'd love to deepen that and do more of that. We'd love to have more respite weekends. We have an incredible Simchaton over Simchas Torah. We have campers come back up to camp for a little bit of a encore. We bring staff up there and have a blowout Simchas Torah. Everyone together. It's really incredible. We'd like to do more of that. We'd love to do more of that.
I'll tell you what, again, as speaking as a father of a special needs kid, having, the one thing, we talked a little bit about this before we started the podcast, but having, the one thing that we as parents of special needs kids want is we always want to know that our child is happy. We always want to make sure he's taken care of. And, but there are challenges, daily challenges that, comes with raising a special needs child. And again, as I said before, and I want to emphasize, I would never change it for anything in the world, right? But just like you want for every one of your children, you want your special needs child to be happy and comfortable. At the same time, they do sometimes take up more of your time. Like when my son, he'll be 13 in September in Elul, but, whereas my kids will go to the kitchen and eat, I sit and I feed him, which can take 45 minutes every night, and he's still in diapers, which, may probably never change. So knowing that our child is in the hands of, and I'm sure I'm speaking for parents, of special needs kids around the world and parents of HASC campers, the incredible chesed that you guys are doing, knowing that our children is in incredible hands, being well taken care of, that they're, again, it's not just babysitting, but their individual therapies that they need, their physical therapies, their speech therapies, their foods that they need to eat and that they like, and the growth and the swimming and everything, just knowing, it gives the parents a special koyach that gives them, the koyach to go, throughout the rest of the year. And to that, I mean, I never sent my kid to HASC, and I don't even know, maybe we'll talk about it afterwards, see how feasible that is. But it's, just knowing that to do that for 7 weeks is just incredible. And so
knowing that your child is a child, that he's a person first.
Yeah.
He's a child with special needs. He's a child who has likes and dislikes.
Right.
They might be subtle. They might be harder to tell sometimes, but there's likes and dislikes, and there's things that make him happy and things that make him less happy. In Camp HASC, our goal is not just to create a 7-week pseudo, reality, alternative reality to the universe where a child is treated as a child, an individual is treated as an individual who has special needs, just like there are people who have blue eyes and there are people who have brown eyes. There are people who have high IQs and there are people who are good at sports and there are people who are more interested in the arts. But to treat every individual as an individual, as a chelik el kamimal, created in the image of God, and deserving of respect and love just because, be'etzem, who they are, that's something that we need to replicate in the entire world. To know that a child is not a chefza shel mitzvah. That a person who comes for the summer is not like, this is just your summer of chesed, but to develop a sense of respect for Hashem's creation and the way Hashem is creating the world and sustaining the world, and that we are partners in enabling, God awareness in every interaction. That God is not just found in the world, and Hashem is not just found in people, but that the Ribono Shel Olam, godliness, is found between people. And those relationships are something that we're looking to, create as a binyan av, develop a binyan av that can be replicated throughout the world. And we're looking for people to be partners in that. I mean, part of what we're doing is opening ourselves up to the community and partnering with different organizations and partnering with different individuals and bringing in outside organizations and outside specialists to come see what we're doing and to get feedback. Opening ourselves up because we want to improve, because we want to get better, because the children and the family and the adults that we're providing these services for deserve it.
What will it take to open up a Camp HASC Eretz Yisrael?
The Donnie Waxman asked you to...
No, that's not coming. That's coming from me.
Brother. Amen. I'll just say amen.
Amen.
I'll take that what you just said as a tefillah. The answer is let's do it. Let's do it. All the entrepreneurs out there, all the guys with big ideas and big ritzanos out there.
I assume it could be replicated in Eretz Yisrael.
It could be. We could do it, and we could do it better, and we could do it all over the world where there's a need. So we have to fill that need. That's our job in the world. L'avdol l'shamra. Hashem put us here to fix. Hashem put us here to help and to do for others. And if there's a need here, and there is a need,
there is a need. I can tell you firsthand, there's a need.
So let's do it. Let's do it. We need a few good people to get together. We need some bucks. Right. We need some money. We need a space. But more importantly, we need tefillos and we need ratzon. And we need people who are willing to take risks for Kvod Shamayim. And we need some people out there who are ready to get involved and do something, because there are so many families here in Eretz Yisrael who would benefit from
I'm going to put together, just based on this conversation, I'm going to put together what's called a speculative group. We'll try to get a bunch of people together just as a first step, just to put the idea together and start brainstorming and seeing what it would take to do something like that. But maybe you could start with a 2-week program and grow it to 4 weeks. But, the need is definitely there. And I think the will is definitely there. Yeah. Obviously, any type of undertaking such as this is huge. But let's put together. Let's start brainstorming it. Why not?
Shamayim. If we do it for Kvod Shamayim, if we do something l'shem Shamayim, any business, any nonprofit, for-profit, not-for-profit, anything that we do in our personal lives and our professional lives, if we do it l'shem Shamayim, so there's a divine promise that it has kiyum. If we're going to do it l'shem Shamayim, so then we'll find the investors. We'll find the venture capitalists.
So you guys here first. There's going to be Camp HASC Eretz Yisrael B'ezrat Hashem. Daven for it. If you want to be part of it, reach out.
Even better, there's not going to be a need, Mirz Hashem.
Mirz Hashem.
God willing, there's not going to be a need. Hashem is going to level the playing field for us.
Beautiful. All right, Judah, this has been absolutely fantastic. Really, such incredible background, such incredibly inspirational, so much to learn from this. And it's been more inspiring, but the business aspects of running such an undertaking is incredible for any entrepreneur. The passion that everybody on your team shows and puts in is necessary for any type of endeavor, profit or nonprofit. So this has been an incredible podcast. I thank you so much for joining us. I wish you a tremendous amount of hatzlacha, and for you, the entire staff, and really kol kavod. It's, I'm jealous. I'm jealous of the chelek that you guys have in Olam Haba for taking care of these kids and for helping the families and all that you do. So just any last thoughts before we just close it off?
I could say I'm not a businessman. I don't have the experience. I'm certainly not one to give any type of advice to those who are listening out there who are really doing it. As the brachas hedyot, as a bracha of just of a Jew who lives in Eretz Yisrael, I'd like to bless everyone who's out there giving it a shot and trying to make it happen in whatever area that it's happening. Should see great success and should be blessed with as good and supportive a team as I have the privilege of working with. And the light of the tzaddikim should be with all of us. Those are really the captains of our team, the tzaddikim and the generation. And we should all be blessed to keep the main thing, and be Marba Kvod Shemaim together.
Amen.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening to the From Entrepreneur Podcast with Nachum Kligman. We hope you learned something valuable and will share this with your friends. For show notes, archives of previous episodes, and more information to help you start and grow your business, please visit our website, www.fromentrepreneur.com. Listen, learn, be Masliach.